What is going on, guys? Today we are doing shocks and struts on a 2018 Nissan Sentra. Let's get into it. So we've got our wheel off. Lug nuts are 21 millimeters. Then we've got two big bolt nut sets here. These are also 21 millimeters. We're going to have to get those off. Make sure we get our ABS sensor wires off. And then we've got an 18 millimeter here for the sway bar end link. Then we will go up top and we'll have 3 bolts that hold the assembly in from up there. Now on these sway bar links, we're going to see if we get lucky being able to impact it off of there. A lot of times the whole thing just tries to spin. Then you've got 2 options. There is a place to put an Allen in the front of this and use a wrench, or feels like enough meat on the back to get a pair of vice grips to hold it while you get that nut off. But we're going to go ahead and see if we get lucky. Now we've got to get our ABS lines off of here. These are just rubber grommets that push on. Get that out of the way. Then we also have the brake hose. Has got a retaining clip that holds it on to the strut assembly. We should be able to just knock that clip out of there. Then our brake line will come loose. And then from the top we have got 3 bolts. We got one here, one here. The third one, they actually put a little cover in the windshield cowling that we can get down to the third one. These bolts are all 13 millimeters. Before we take the bolts up top all the way out, I'm going to go ahead and knock the 2 big bolts down here out. So as we take the bolts up top out, the whole assembly will drop down. Then here on the new unit, there is an arrow that points out. Also has an LH for left-hand side. I'm just going to put this thing back in, reverse the order we took it out. I will also go through and put just a little drop of blue Loctite on everything as I put this back together. So that's probably the hardest part, is just holding it from the bottom, getting a bolt started up top. Got that first one started, that takes a little of the weight off. Then you can line up the second one, get it started. Now we can come back through our cover, put in our last one. Got all our bolts in up top. What I actually had to end up doing is taking one of these out to be able to get my one down in under the windshield cowl to line up, get it started, then come back and put this one in. Now we can move on to putting it back together down here. You may need to use a jack underneath it to lift the whole thing up, be able to get your sway bar positioned back in there. And there we go. Got everything tightened back up, top bolts. We got our 2 bolts holding it to the knuckle. We got our sway bar link put back on, all of our grommets for our ABS sensor back in, and our clip for our brake line. Now we just need to go do the exact same thing on the other side. So this is what I was talking about on the other side. This side started to come loose, and then the whole stud just started spinning. So I'm just going to get a pair of vice grips here behind it, put my impact back on it, get the nut off. Now that the front's done, we'll move on to the back. Keep in mind on this car, if you do struts in the front, you will need to get it aligned afterwards. When we come back here to the back, we've got a single bolt, holds that shock on in the bottom. Then we have to come into the trunk. We have got 1, 2, 3 clips and a little retainer in the back. This will come down. And there's the top of our shock where we can get to our nut. So as I was trying to get this thing out, it was spinning just the whole rod from the inside. So I came in, cut off the boot, got a hold of it with some vice grips to keep it from spinning down here. Then just come right in there with our ratchet and get the nut off the back of it. The top was a 16. Then we have got a single bolt right here that is an 18. There we've got the new shock installed, bolt put into the bottom. You've got a washer, a rubber grommet on this side, and then one from the inside, and then the nut goes on there. Pretty self-explanatory. If you guys found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions about the process, throw them down in the comments below. See you guys next time.